Thank you to lead and to serve, and so I pray that you would be with us tonight in all of our discussions and decisions, that we would be directed by you to make decisions in the best interest of the people of Shiawassee County. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Webster?
Here.
Commissioner Holzhausen?
Here.
Commissioner Root is absent. Commissioner Garber?
Present.
Commissioner Marks?
Here.
Commissioner Plowman?
Here.
Chairman Broder?
Here. Thank you. I would be looking for a motion to approve today's agenda.
Mr. Chair, I make that motion. Support?
Got a motion with support. Any comment on the agenda? In that case, all in favor of approval of today's agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. And now we move on to the approval of the minutes. I would need a motion to approve the minutes of December 16th, 2021.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. And I'll need another motion to approve the minutes of January 6th, 2022.
So moved.
Support?
Got a motion with support. Discussion on those minutes. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I will need now a motion for the approval of the bills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to approve the invoice and reports dated 12/16/21, 12/22/21, 12/29/21, and 1/6/22, and to authorize that warrants be drawn from the treasury for same. This includes ACH, EFTs, and wire transfers, and for a grand total of $4,084,648.12.
Second.
Got a motion with support. Any discussion on the bills? Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Holzhausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Root is absent. Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman?
Yes.
Commissioner Webster?
Yes.
And Chairman Broder?
Yes. Thank you very much. The bills are approved. Commissioner Marks.
Thank you, Mr. Board Chair. At this time, I move to approve Resolution 22-01-05 to accept Commissioner Jeremy Wood's resignation.
Support.
I've got a motion with support. Any discussion on that item? In that case, I would ask for roll call, please.
Commissioner Root is absent. Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman?
Yes.
Commissioner Webster?
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen?
Yes.
And Chairman Broder?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Board Chair. This time, I move to approve the Shiawassee County Board of Commissioners to begin accepting letters of interest from individuals seeking appointment to the vacant District 5 County Commission seat as soon as feasible. I further move that the county coordinator is instructed to consult with legal counsel to prepare information posting to be placed in a prominent place on the Shiawassee County webpage and at the county offices with information and instructions for close individuals with wish to be considered for the vacancy. Further, it is moved that the posting shall include a description of the information that interested individuals should submit, an attestation as to the individual's legal qualifications to hold office, and a statement that interested individuals who submit the required information should be prepared to attend a special meeting of the Board of Commissioners during which this matter will be considered, and applications are due on January 28, 2022 at 5 p.m. at the Administration Office, and the special meeting will be held February 3rd, 2022 at 5 p.m.
Support.
Got a motion with support. Any discussion on that item? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman?
Yes.
Commissioner Webster?
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen?
Yes.
And Chairman Broder?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the emergency repair of the 911 center as proposed yesterday.
Yesterday.
Support.
Got a motion with support on the repair of the 911 center. Any discussion? Dr. Boggs, did you want to just say a word or two about that?
Just this one's a little out of the ordinary as it is an emergency repair and it just came to us yesterday and we are able to get the item, so it's prudent for us to move and replace that unit now while we can.
And
That's why
if-
it came to you in this board.
And I may add that, that will be paid for out of the 911 budget.
That is correct.
Other comments? A roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman?
Yes.
Commissioner Webster?
Yes.
Commissioner Olshausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
Chairman Broder?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Chair, at this time I move to approve the minutes of the January 12, 2022 committee of the whole meeting.
Support?
Got a motion with support on approving the minutes. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And that passes. At this time, we have our first opportunity for the public to address the board. I see I have a couple of slips up here right now. Paula Brooks, please.
Hello, Paula Brooks from Durand. I was just curious, and I'm sure some of the other members of the audience might be curious too, as to what the digital marketing for the 3 new websites was for what department, for whom, whatever, and be interesting to see what that was for. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom Mankey, please.
Good afternoon. I don't know whether any of you heard the latest news, breaking news out
Yeah.
of Washington. Supreme Court ruled today, but they ruled like King Solomon. I loved it. The left said that it was totally intact. The right said it was completely destroyed. However, it's right down the center. If you work in a factory, they can't make you get it. But if you're a healthcare worker and you work in the doctor's office, you work in a hospital, or you work any place else, you have to get the jab. That's what the rule today. The court said, although COVID-19 is a risk that occurs in many workplaces, it is not an occupational hazard in most. They went on to say, COVID-19 can and does spread at home, in schools, during sporting events, and everywhere else that people gather. That kind of universal risk is no different from the day-to-day dangers that we all face from crime, air pollution, or any number of communicable diseases. They just ruled. Masks. It's the same. It's just a normal thing. Now, we have a situation. You all want to be transparent. I had to do a FOIA today. Our health department's playing games. It's a big game. They've changed the data that they're giving us. I don't know whether you've seen the data yesterday that they gave us. It's to scare you. It's a joke. No longer are they telling you how many people in the county had COVID, how many people have gotten over COVID. Now they only want to tell you how many people have just got it and how many people have died in the last 2 years. That's it. They don't tell you how many people are in the hospital. Oh, and yes, and then they put in bright red letters. It's real high. You can get it real bad right now. No data to support it. I have to FOIA, and I FOIA. I'm going to put out the same data that's always been put out, and they're going to have to release it. They have it. They're going to have to release it. If I have to FOIA it every week, I'll be FOIAing it every week so that our residents and you will know how many people total in the last 2 years have got COVID, how many in the last 2 years have recovered from COVID, how many people are in the hospital, and then you decide how bad it is. This is a joke. It's not transparency. That was an absolute disaster. And I hope that you guys say something about it because it's not following your rules of transparency. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't have any slips. Anyone else? Commissioners, any comments or response on public comment tonight? Hearing none?
I
I'm
just
sorry.
do have one comment.
Commissioner Webster.
The request about the website, again, if our packet was posted with information, it would help answer some of those questions. So I just want to continue to bring that our board packet, if it was posted, we talked about it the other night, but not everybody was here. So we would just give that information and the public deserves to have it.
Thank you. Anybody else? Let's move on with then committee reports. Commissioner Holzhausen, do you have anything for us tonight?
I'm on the Health and Wellness Board, and 2 people resigned from that, and I'm on the board that nominating committee, and we're gonna meet next Tuesday. Also, the big deal over there is the legislature and I don't know who all, they got a bill in Congress or House and all that they want to privatize it. They're gonna be voting on that, so that's a big scare for them. They're gonna make it privatized, supposedly, if they get enough votes, so.
Who is it that's trying to privatize what again? I'm sorry.
The state is trying to privatize the health and wellness instead of having it through where it is now.
Oh, okay.
And also, I'm on the 911 board, and we're meeting, I think Monday, and that's, things are going along good. They're still getting loans and grants through that program. Businesses are. Also, I'm the senior citizen board, and things are moving along over there. It's kind of slow, but they're moving. And I'm also on Shiawassee Economic Partnership. That's the one that they're doing good over there. That's about it right now.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Carver.
Nothing today, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Plum.
I just have some notes. The I-69 corridor doesn't meet this month, they'll meet next month. And then Genesee, Shiawassee, Thumb area will meet next month and not this month. MTA, Michigan Township Association, met this month, had a very good turnout for Perry Township. Road Commission has got lots of salt and sand, and we all hope it doesn't snow, so that's a good thing. Other than that, that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Marks.
Nothing for me.
Commissioner Webster.
Nothing for me today.
Very good, thank you. Well, let's move into committee motions and reports. Commissioner Marks, I will turn it over to you.
Yes, sir. From the Economic and Physical Development Committee, as forwarded, I move to approve resolution 22-01-03 endorsing the Shiawassee County Drain Commissioner's storm water management guidelines.
Support.
I've got a motion with support. Discussion on that item.
Just please note, you may want to hold on to your packets and information for those that do their own planning and zoning, because the Drain Commissioner will be approaching those districts as you talk to your constituents and other governmental units.
Thank you. Other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
and Chairman Broder.
Yes.
All right, I move to approve resolution 22-01-01 endorsing asphalt pavement of the rural 34 miles of the Fred Meyer CIS trail section of the Midwest Michigan Trail Authority between Ionia and Wausau, Michigan.
Support?
Got a motion with support. And again, a couple of words on this, Dr. Box.
This is just an endorsement. This doesn't cost the county anything. We're asking the government, particularly the state of Michigan, to fund paving of this rails to trails initiative. Commissioner Garber brought this from her meetings, and she sits on that particular board.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
All right, on item C, I move to approve the minutes of the January 10, 2022 Economic and Physical Development Committee meeting. Support.
Got a motion with support. Any comments on the meeting, on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That completes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Plowman, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item A, I move to approve the 2021 budget adjustments as presented.
Support.
Good movement with support, a motion with support, excuse me. Any discussion on the budget adjustments? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to approve the proposal from digital marketing for 3 new websites in an amount not to exceed $15,000.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Discussion. Dr. Box, why don't you start since there was a request. give us
Yeah,
some
so
details.
there are 3 websites that make up the entirety of the Shiawassee County website system. One for the sheriff, one is just general county, and then, which has the courts and everything else on it, and then the health department. So this will be a revamping of the entire website system that we have. Commissioner Garber and the sheriff and myself met with them last month and looked at some of their work. We'll be bringing back some recommendations to the board after they start.
Other comments or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes,
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to authorize MERS to allow Correctional Deputy Richard Richardson to purchase 24 months of service credit as requested.
Support.
Got a motion with support. Discussion on that item.
Is he retiring then?
I, not yet, he just wants to purchase, and I think we had the figure on how much it would cost him to purchase.
Yes, I don't remember what it was, but it's his money off the top of my head for 24 months. Remember, you did receive an email that explained this. If the individual exceeds the life expectancy tables, then it does cost something to the county, but in the aggregate, it's designed not to among all the employees.
Yes, and I have to admit, I have struggled with this one a little bit because I don't know if you want to call it my emotion or my gut or whatever says that perhaps it's not a good idea for people to be buying a lot of additional years. It's one thing if somebody needs a few months, and yet at the same time, my brain tells me and my training in finance tells me that there is no cost to the county, and therefore, why would we not allow one of our employees to do this? Actuary tables are built on many, many hundreds of thousands of people and experience and so on, and a person who does this is just as likely to cost us money as they are to, in effect, give us extra money. Additionally, this small portion, of course, of the retirement is fully funded and tends to, however small, pull up our number as far as how fully funded is our retirement. So, again, I understand both sides of it. I'm tending to be in favor of it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this is a double-edged sword because this, I understand, is coming out of a MERS item that's already fully funded, a division. Is that the case?
None of the divisions are fully funded.
But this is one with more funded?
It is,
Okay,
it is more funded. It's gonna cost him $15,000.
Okay, so, yeah, I mean, when you look at it from that light, it does seem more reasonable. But then where is equity? So we would say because your division happens to be more fully funded than a division, maybe in a different department, then maybe we would say no. Out of interest of staying consistent, I would be voting no. And I also would like to point out that if they do live longer, it will cost us money, and obviously over time, in medical advancements, life expectancies are trending up. I mean, obviously the last year, I think and a half has been a different dip in that, but we know why that is with COVID. So just, I would say keep that in the back of your mind when you vote. 2 years is a lot of years. Like you said earlier, and I said Monday, a couple months, I understand. We start giving people years and years and years, now we're getting a little out of line, in my opinion. So that is my opinion.
And if I may rebut that a little bit, I guarantee the actuaries if you've ever talked to an actuary, they're unbelievably highly educated. I think they have 2 brains or something like that. They're rather amazing people who can do the statistics on this. I guess I would say we're not giving them 2 years, buying 2 years. It's not costing us anything. And again, it's hard for me to come up with a rational reason to turn this down. It just doesn't, it doesn't cost the county anything, and it obviously benefits the employee, or they wouldn't want it. And so I tend to favor it.
How
Yes.
did our MERS get so much unfunded then, if it wasn't paid properly?
That would be a very different issue.
It's the same deal, so.
I think the public school system's cut it off. I'm obviously a teacher. We cut it off a number of years ago. I'd have to wonder why they did. If it was,
Yeah,
From your line of thinking, why shouldn't I be able to buy 5 years of it?
Yeah.
It cuts off for a reason. Maybe I don't know the reason, but it's out there.
I'd be interested if you found out.
It'll be too late for this vote, but the 4 people that want to do this next month will probably have to revisit this.
And we might, and you might change my mind. No, I'm serious. I'm always open to discussions on things.
I think once we bond, it's done. It's done.
Good point.
That has to be closed.
Ah. That's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Further discussion? Roll call on this, please.
Commissioner Marks?
No,
Commissioner Plowman?
Yes.
Commissioner Webster?
Yes,
Commissioner Holzhausen?
no,
Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
And Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to approve resolution 22-01-04 to authorize issuance of limited tax general obligation bonds.
support?
We got a motion with support. Discussion on that item.
This is the next step in the process towards bonding. The referendum period ends in a couple of weeks in early February. However, when the referendum period ends, this board will not have reconvened by then. So this just keeps us on time so that we'll be able to sell the bonds in early April. Once the referendum period expires, now that this will be approved, we will also have a meeting with the state. So there's still several steps along the way, but this just keeps us on the timeline.
will people be able to buy more time after that?
I don't believe so, no.
Oh,
And I, for one, will breathe a huge sigh of relief when we lock in historically low interest rates. I'm watching that every day. Other discussion on this item? Seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Plowman?
Yes.
Commissioner Webster?
Yes,
Commissioner Holzhausen?
yes,
Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
Commissioner Marks?
yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to approve the minutes of the January 10th, 2022 Finance Administration Committee meeting.
Second.
I've got a motion with support. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are you opposed? And that passes. Thank you very much, Commissioner. I don't have anything in particular tonight other than to make sure to remind the public that as we move forward with appointing a person for District 5 to fill Jeremy Root's spot, those meetings will be open. That meeting will be open, and it is on February the 3rd at 5 p.m. So everyone is invited to attend that. It'll be here in this room. Dr. Bobs.
I gave my report yesterday. Just please note that the county offices will be closed on Monday in observance of Martin Luther King Day.
Thank you very much. This is our second opportunity to address the board. I have one slip.
I'll give it to you afterwards.
That's fine. I know who you are.
As,
Tom,
as everybody.
you were first. If you want,
Okay.
either way, one of you go first.
I'll go.
I'm good either way.
I'm up here. In my right hand, I have a 43-page dam inspection report from the DNR's Eagle Division for the 2 dams in Byron. It is not pretty, okay? Dispense with all the technicalities and the engineering stuff. You're looking at $1 million to fix 2 dams. The village of Byron doesn't have $1 million, period. No discussion, okay? Not only that, I went to their meeting in December, and these poor folks, their municipal water system is supplied by 2 8-inch wells to feed that big tower by the high school. One of those 60-year-old wells cracked a casing and made it inoperable. Right now, they're pumping the heck out of that 8-inch well, and whether it lasts a year or 2 years, who knows? But they had to drill a new well, of which they did, and it cost $180,000. They don't have $180,000. And I don't think this county has got that kind of money either. Somebody needs to grab the bull by the reins and get with John Mullenhour and get some of this freebie money that I discussed the last meeting The money's there, all you have to do is reach out and say, hey, we need money for dams, we need money for wells, and any other worthwhile project. And your $246,000 that you're paying to get that jail roof fixed, if you would have went through the telephone calls, you could have got that paid too. But as far as I know, nobody in this room or in this county administration has any type of funding contact with John Mullenhour, which is a tragedy, period. So if you'd like to take a look at this report, it's complete with what the state is requiring. They're requiring a complete sluice gate removal, plus all the abutments and the masonry and the removal of the trees and everything. But being an engineer, and I've looked at these reports in other areas before, you're looking $1 million or more. They had an estimate about 10 years ago when I went to one of their meetings at $750,000. They tabled it and didn't do anything, and all it did was multiply the damage, what those dams are going through. Those dams were made back in the 1890s, and they have wooden gates, which holding back 9.5 foot of water. And I think I misspoke back then. I thought those dams were holding back 7 foot of water. They're holding back 9.5 feet of water. So if something happens to those dams, like happened up at Wixom and Sanford, we'll be standing in this room and everything with hip boots on, no doubt about it. So I'm going to contact Mr. Mullenhour's office and get on the bandwagon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom?
I just want to reiterate, it's very important, especially after Supreme Court ruled today. Supreme Court ruled, that's it. It's all done. This is the, I don't know whether you've seen this, what they sent out. This is their new thing that they're putting out to the public. Splashed in red, high current risk level, but there's no data to support it. It's just their opinion, unless they supply the data. 30.94% positivity rate. Who says? Where's the data? 180 total deaths. It doesn't say that's over 2 years, but then they have up above 763 new confirmed cases. This is not transparency. This is shoving a narrative. It's shoving a narrative to make a person look important and a department look important. It's not allowing our public to make the decisions. The public make decisions when they get the data, and then they look at it. It's not his decision what the public decides, especially after the Supreme Court's ruling today. You heard it. Supreme Court said it's no different than any other communicable disease, colds, flus, whatever. I FOIA'd it. You'll be hearing me in emails if they don't grant it immediately. And there is no reason why he can hold that back. They have the data. He supplied it to everybody last year. But this year, all of a sudden, we're going to hide all that data. And we're going to only tell you what we want you to know. That's not transparency. And you've all been talking about transparency. I think you got to force them to be transparent. This is terrible. So yeah, you're going to keep hearing from me, and I'm going to keep writing on it. I wrote on it last night. We put it out to 30,000 people. We had over 20,000 that have read it so far. And people aren't happy. They want to be able to read the data. So again, I FOIA'd it to the county. And the reason why I FOIA'd the county is so that you get the same information I get from the health department. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Let's move forward, please. Thank you.
Bear with me for a second here. So I wanted to touch base on the Fred Meyer Trail section. Cindy, you sit on that board correctly, right? On that committee?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to actually recommend to this board that they try to talk to him to extend it from the Owasso area all the way to Durand, because from my understanding, there is an old trail that goes there. And I think that would be an excellent investment in the community for health-wise to give, you know, someone who likes trails, bikes, and stuff like that, an opportunity to go from point A to point B. That would be from Durand to Owasso. Myself being a biker and a walker, I would love that opportunity. That'd be nice to walk that trail or ride that bike all the way to Ione if we had to. But Cindy, if you could probably take that back to the committee and talk to him about it, I'd really appreciate that. I know it's a lot to ask for, but I mean, it's a trail there Fred Meyer is looking to work on, and that's just another thing we could possibly add to it and show the community that we want to, you know, worry about community health. Another thing, I'm happy this board is moving forward, and I'm happy that Mr. Root has resigned, and myself, along with Mr. Reed here, do plan on filing to fill his vacancy. But I do want to commend you guys keeping your heads up and doing the right thing and turning the appropriate information over to the prosecuting attorney, so that way it can be investigated and then hopefully transparency improves. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Commissioners, any comment regarding anything in the public? Hearing none, this meeting's adjourned.